My name is Peretz Wolf-Prusan, and I am on the faculty at Hamakom, the place. I am lighting candles in honor of the Talmud circles and the Zohar circles. Modestly, we're going to look at a little bit of Talmud and a very little amount of Zohar. However, the link between both is a great teacher in our world who passed away just last year, Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz. It's his translation and commentary of the Talmud that we use in the Talmud circles. And I'll be also looking at a book of his called The 13-Petaled Rose, which is a Kabbalistic, it's an invitation into the world of Kabbalah. So that's how I'm doing a little teaching of both Talmud and Zohar for Hanukkah. So to get that going, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to first check with Sarah. Is everything going fine on your side? There we go. I got the thumbs up. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. And good. So this is the first text we're going to be looking at as we look at Hamakom and Hanukkah. And then tonight's word, two words, Hidur mitzvah. A mitzvah is something that Jews ought to do, or you could actually say that mitzvot are the things that actually identify us as Jews. It's the actions and behaviors that basically show, hey, there be Jews here. Lahadar, Hidur is to make something beautiful, to make it shine, to make it lovely, to make it better than average. And so this text is really great because it begins well. Rabbi Zeria says, and this is the Talmud, Bava Kama, 9a, 9b. Rabbi Zeria says that Rav Huna says, for the purchase of an object which to fulfill a mitzvah, one should spend up to 1/3. And Rashi understands 1/3 more. You should do a little more for anything that you're going to do, an object that makes a mitzvah, which by the way is why you don't find a lot of Jewish art in museums, because museums are filled with things you cannot use, you cannot touch, and you cannot take them home. Well, you can take them home, but that's called theft. But we have our art at home. So you should have a beautiful Seder plate, a beautiful Kiddush cup, wear a beautiful tallis, have beautiful tzitzit, a beautiful challah cover. It goes on, actually. There are many Jewish texts which list every possible object that a Jewish person might have, and they should be special. Now the Gemara says, hey, to what does this 1/3 refer? We say it means that one should spend up to 1/3 of his estate, of your capacity, to perform a mitzvah. But is that so? If it happened to him that he became obligated in 3 mitzvot at the same time, should he give his entire estate? This sounds like Congress. If it's 1/3, he's got 3 objects, he'll be finished. So speaks the conservative voices in the Talmud. Rather, what Rabbi Zeria said is that for the embellishment of the performance of a mitzvah, behidur mitzvah, to purchase a more beautiful item used in the performance of a mitzvah, one should spend up to 1/3 more than the cost of the standard item. In other words, get off my back. This isn't hard. If you're going to get something to do for a mitzvah, like for Hanukkah or Shabbat, make it special. And that's called Hidur Mitzvah, which is why I have one of my favorite Hanukkiyot for the household. This is a lion that was, of course, made by one of my children. Who made this? Tali made this. And of course, it's the most beautiful Hanukkah I could possibly have. If I factored in her day school tuition, I clearly spent 1/3 more than the average, if not much, much more. But it's all worth it. Okay, so the next text, a little more esoteric, but still fun. This is from Rabbi Adin Evan Israel Steinsaltz. He calls it in the beginning. Ze ali va'anvehu. This is my God, and I will adorn God. That is from Exodus. It's from the crossing of the Red Sea. You know this as the Michamocha. Very popular in synagogue settings. And he says this verse has two classical interpretations. According to one, Anvehu is interpreted as Ani v'hu, me and God, which is known in Latin as imitatio Dei, imitating God, being like God in attributes, in actions, and other ways. This phrase, by the way, Ze eli va'anvehu, is very hard to understand. The Talmud says, what does it possibly mean? This is my God, and I'll adorn God. And the Talmud understands this. I can only adorn God by making a mitzvah that I do really special, make it beautiful. I can't adorn God. I can only make what I do better. However, here Steinsaltz helps. The commitment to adorn, to make the holy beautiful. These two interpretations are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they speak about one and the same thing. That, by the way, is a classic Steinsaltz move. When one comes in contact, closely or remotely, with the holy must somehow emanate upon one. This emanation must find expression in ways that are perfect in terms of other values, in terms of conduct, existence, and beauty. When these things join together, I am still on the periphery, within the holy, but perhaps then it's possible to glance at holiness from a distance. In other words, what makes something beautiful is not that it's just pretty. What makes something beautiful in Jewish thought is it's for a beautiful reason. To make Shabbat, to make Passover, to make a beautiful sukkah. It's art and purpose. So this is for the Zohar circles. The chart on the left is from Professor Daniel Matz and Arthur Green's introduction to the Zohar. It shows the sfirot, the spheres of the attributes of God, which we cannot possibly take care of in the next 30 seconds. Suffice to say, this is not God, but this is how we can talk about God. And dead center of the sfirot, I put an arrow so you can find it, is Tiferet. Beauty. And Steinsaltz writes, in Jewish thought, the concept of beauty is linked to the central sphera or sphere of Tiferet, which in itself is actually an expression of several basic elements of existence, each of them manifesting the same fundamental quality in different ways, such as truth, Torah, beauty, and compassion. The common denominator is harmony. And since this apprehension of harmony is so many-sided and variegated, it cannot be reduced to one aesthetic meaning. Even the Hebrew language is constant interchange and substitution between the concepts of good and the beautiful. The good being called beautiful and the beautiful being called good, because both are grasped as harmony between things. Tiferet is thus the basis of the good, the beautiful, and the true, without ever being manifested or capable of being directly expressed as an image. So we make art in Jewish life and unite it around a beautiful purpose. That is Hidur Mitzvah, and that is Tiferet. This is a Polish Chanukiah. One day we'll have a class on the images used in Jewish art, and I can explain how the unicorn comes to be part of the Jewish palette. And I love this little menorah, but this one, the last one coming up, this is Yemenite. And the Yemenite silverware is exquisite and wonderful. And the only time you'll find a menorah like this sitting in a gift shop or a museum is if this family no longer exists. That's the challenge of Jewish art. It lives amongst the Jewish people, not in the marketplace, except to be sold once and then used forever. So those are the 3 little menorot I wanted to share with you. And that was a little text from the 13 petaled rose and a little bit of the Talmud of Hidur Mitzvah. All right. So I have my lion here. Actually, just before and here come the blessings. And maybe right after the blessings, if anyone has any questions about Hidur Mitzvah, we can maybe take a minute or two. If you want to learn more about Talmud, join a Talmud circle. If you want to learn more about the Zohar, either this year or next year, join one of the Zohar circles. It's all available to you. So now we have the Hanukkah lighting blessings. Okay, this is very nice. Now, wait, I cannot be possibly singing this by myself. No. This is not Hidur Mitzvah. This is the opposite of Hidur Mitzvah. Can we unmute everyone and we can all do it together?
Peretz, I had to sing it. You can sing it. Come on now.
Is that Darren?
It's pretty rough altogether. Yeah.
We'll help you out.
Darren,
We'll help you out.
Am I being shamed into doing this by myself?
We'll help you out.
All right.
Yeah, there's 3 of us unmuted now. So
It does violate Hidur Mitzvah to have me sing anything.
You're funny.
It drove more Jews into Buddhism having me chant. Okay, fine.
It comes from your soul. Remember that.
I only wish it did.
It does. I can tell.
Okay, then it does. All right. Well, I saw Ruth Adar. She can help out because there's nothing like a Southern twang to lend a little festivity to anything. All right, here we go.
All right, here we go.
Baruch atah Eloheinu asher atah Adonai. We did the other slide.
Sorry, I forgot to advance the slide.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Hag Orim Sameach. The Peretz Festival.
Hag Sameach.
Festival blessing.
Thank you and Hag Sameach.
Thank you, Peretz.